Hi guys, welcome back. It's Tamira with Lacquer Lockdown here with another new tutorial for you guys. This one's pretty simple and straightforward. It's just some sort of scattered foil nail art. I'm fooling around with textures a lot these days. As usual, I'm putting down my peel off base coat because I love this base coat. It's perfect. It works. I can take it off really easily. And then my favorite one coat black top coat is the Masera Obsidian, which I really love this because it's really quick and easy. I have a lot of it because I'm obsessed with Masera polishes, so whenever I want to do something with black as a base, I always end up grabbing it, but you can use whatever you want. And then I'm just going to go ahead and put some posh over this just so I can get the surface nice and even. I actually think that it does make a difference when you're applying the foils. If the foiled glue has a very smooth surface to lay down on, and then this is foil glue, you can pretty much get this anywhere. The kind that I use is this sort of blue to clear drying sort of substance. I mean, I am dying inside because it takes forever for this shit to dry. But
one eternity later.
Once it does, then you're left with a nice smooth surface, and you can tell that it's dry because it goes clear. So I've got a couple foils, and in the info box below, I'm going to list just the places. I buy my foils from eBay. I buy my foils from Dollar Nail Art, just wherever I find cool and pretty foils. And that really is the only criteria by which I'm basing my purchasing. Is it cool? Is it pretty? And then is it cheap? I will admit readily that I prefer to get some of the foils that you buy, I guess, sort of from China and some other countries, because they tend to be a little bit cheaper than the US distributors, but then it does take a little while longer to get them. So I mean, it's really up to you, but regardless, yay foils. So my nail is basically dry, the glue is dry, or it's tacky enough that I can start applying some of these foils. And I'm kind of going for just, because I want this to look patchwork, just sort of, and somewhat geometric, sort of just picking an edge or an area of my nail and then applying the foil and pressing down, and then I pull it up. And really the whole point is not for this to be perfectly applied. If that was the case, I would have done my technique where I use a Q-tip to kind of lay it flat. I actually wanted this to look slightly shredded and deconstructed, so I'm just going in with my finger after I find a spot, laying it down, and then removing the foil to leave behind just a portion on that part of the nail that I'm covering that's got the foil. And I really like the results. A little bit, I talk about this on my blog post that corresponds to this nail art, which is that I sort of wish I hadn't used the linear pattern here, the stripes, because the matte top coat ends up killing it a little bit. But in terms of these other mixed colors and this sort of teal greenish holographic foil here, I really love how the matte polish affected it. But for the more I guess the little lines, it didn't necessarily come out as smoothly as I wanted it. I mean, I wish there was just more texture in that section, but I really love how this looks. It's so pretty, and it was so easy. Truthfully, that was 90% of why I enjoyed this, because it was so straightforward. And you can watch my video on how to preserve your top foils if you want to stop there. But if you want more texture, you can actually take, that was Essie Matte About You can take any matte top coat, though this is just my favorite one, and apply it to the foils, and you get this sort of really cool textured effect if you do that. So this is totally optional. I really love how it turned out, though. I think I'm going to try this next time with some stamping involved as well, just to see what the final delineation turns out to be after this. But this actually, as it dries, you really just see what I mean? The foils just become more three-dimensional, at least the more fully patterned ones rather than the separated ones. But regardless of whether you leave it glossy, which is what I did here, or you leave it, or you make it matte, it turns out to be so gorgeous. So I hope you guys like this. Next time I'm going to have another stamping tutorial. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time, okay? Bye!